Hey there, I'm Marvin, and welcome to Duchy. In this video, I'm going to be giving a narrated playthrough of the North faction. Now, the North faction is one that is available as a DLC, and in my mind, it is maybe the hardest faction to learn, at least once you've had a few runs under your belt playing as the Duchy or any of the other four factions. And why that's the case, well, the North, to play the North effectively, you basically need to play a very high risk, high reward strategy. It has several mechanics that make gameplay feel a lot different than what you might be used to playing as the other four factions. So it is a lot to learn, but the North is an extremely powerful faction, and in fact, with the right cards, this is my preferred faction to beat Duchy on Nightmare difficulty. So to talk a bit about what is unique to the North, first off, there is when you play around your standard Tetris round in the North, you get this scouting card that will give you these random temporary depots. And what these buildings are, they're kind of like some of the military buildings that recruit off networks of a terrain. You'll want to place these next to the terrain that they are associated with, and then chain those terrain pieces into as big of a network as possible, and they will collect resources as a result. In addition, with this Hall of Heroes starting card, if you're able to do that with your depots, and on top of it place those depots next to the Hall of Heroes, you'll gain even more resources as a result. And that's just a little like a resource quirk that happens with the North. That then parlays into the real major change for this faction, and that's the fact that unlike all the other factions in the game so far in the current 1.2.19 patch, the North, during the combat phase, you will not be when you're playing as the North, you will not be chaining together all your friendly and hostile groups. Instead, you're going to take all of your friendly groups and assign them individually to a target. And the reason why there is this change is that your target doesn't necessarily have to be an enemy military group. You can actually take your friendly troops and target these depots instead, and those troops will plunder the depot to give you additional resources rather than fight the other troops. And in fact, I think the ratio is that for every troop that you send to plunder a depot, you get 3 of that resource. So if you're able to recruit a lot of troops and also gain a lot of resources on these depots, you can gain a lot of resources just in general across one round, and be able to upgrade your important cards even earlier than usual. And of course, you're probably wondering, well, what happens then if I'm sending my troops to plunder these depots and I'm not actually attacking the enemy groups? Well, that's the challenge, right? So when you're playing as the North, it is highly likely that you may end the combat phase with surviving enemy groups. And of course, just like standard Duchy gameplay, those enemy groups are going to take away from your overall HP or your defense. What the North does, though, the interesting quirk with the North, though, is that when you do take damage from these enemy groups, or in general, if you're able to even inflict self-damage to yourself, and like, is that possible? Actually, yes. There's this card, one of your starting cards, a raiding camp, will actually inflict self-damage if you place it next to an enemy military building. Whenever you do this, you generate something called Fury. And Fury is this like special meter that you can build up that will influence your next subsequent round. So what happens is, for every damage that you take, whether from an enemy group or self-inflicted, every point of damage equates to 2 points of Fury. And then in the following round, however much fury you have, that will translate into additional troops that the game will then assign to just random terrain pieces on the grid. So you're gonna, let's say in one round you take 20 points of damage to your defense. That translates into 40 points of fury, which then might be in your next Tetris round could be split up into, say, one group of 15, a second group of 15, and a third group of 10. 15, 15, and 10, I think, adds up to 40. So, and they'll just be assigned to some like random like forest or plain or river piece, and also be given a random troop type. It could be light, it could be heavy troops, or it could be ranged troops. So, and that is kind of the really interesting quirk of the North and the whole high risk, high reward playstyle. The goal is to intentionally allow yourself to take damage, mainly to accelerate your resource gathering, resource collection, which then allows you to upgrade your cards sooner and build a stronger military force, and then find a way to replenish that defense so that you can continue the process. And the fury that you generate will help you win subsequent rounds because you have additional troops to work with. So that's basically that is basically how the North works, if you can even call that basic. It's definitely the most it's the biggest head scratcher, I think, of all the factions available in the current version. So let's dive into the progress tree, and maybe that'll help clarify a few things. So one question you're probably wondering is, how do I actually replenish defense in order to make this work? I mean, you can do the standard way, which is spending gold in between rounds to replenish your defense. And as playing as the North, you actually can collect quite a bit of gold, and that is a viable strategy, at least on lower difficulties. By the time you hit higher difficulties, though, that's going to get really expensive. I don't think you'll be able to keep that up compared to the amount of damage you might be taking. So instead, we need to rely specifically on cards that will allow you to replenish defense. And there are actually quite a few options in the progress tree. So I am going to do a review from bottom to top, but I'm going to first focus on just to highlight some of the options that you can have. So one that we enabled here, for example, is this Fresh Troops Technology card. So in this one, during the round, you're going to automatically spend any gold you earn to gain defense. And it says here at the usual cost. And so the usual cost is the cost you have to pay at normal difficulty, which is 10 gold for 1 point of defense. And at level 1, this is capped at 10 defense per round, so you can only replenish up to 10. I think at level 2, that's cap goes to 20, and maybe at level 3, there is no cap at all. So this, for example, is one card we're going to enable for this run because you can collect a lot of gold as the North, and this is going to be a way to replenish our defense throughout the rounds as we also take damage. Additionally, if you're not using a technology card, you can also use a production building, and the best one by far is this Herborist card here. So this Herborist at level 1 starts with a range of 2 and will turn every plane into a forest square and also gain 2 defense as a result. So this is 2 defense per square. And if you actually look right now on this pop-up, you can see that there are already 16 eligible squares at this level 1 card. Multiply that by 2, and that's 32 defense right there for a level 1 card, which is tremendous. I mean, 32, I guess it depends on what your starting defense is. Mine, I think, is going to be 70, but that's basically like almost half right off the cuff, and that's only at a level 1 card. By level 3, the Herborist will increase its range to 3, and you will gain 3 defense for every square, so you can easily replenish your whole entire defense meter just in one round. This is definitely the best card that we can get playing as the North to replenish our defense each round. But of course, what else are we going to need to make this work? Let's bring the progress tree back to the bottom here and see what else we have enabled. So first off, I'm going to skip past all of these here. Playing as the North, it is going to be important to, not just be able to recruit a lot of troops. because that just kind of goes without saying. That's to apply no matter which faction you play. But in this case, because you're not chaining together all the groups, it's important to actually have enough groups out there that you can take out all the hostile enemy groups and prevent yourself from getting from losing all your defense. So, having one single building with, say, even 200 troops can still lose you the round, because if you send that, you can't send that 200 and split it across, say, four enemy military buildings. By the time you get to Acts 2 and 3, you're going to be facing 4 military buildings. Maybe you put one in reserve. Depending on the difficulty, you might not be able to. And so even if you are able to recruit a lot of troops on one, you got to be able to actually spread that out somehow. And Fury will help with that because it will spawn its troops across multiple terrain types. But I think another strategy that I like to employ to make this work comes down to rivers, and essentially being able to draft the Fluvial Guard card, which will send out 8 heavy troops, or I should say, excuse me, just 8 troops to every building connected to an adjacent river network. And so if it's a military building, then it will just gain 8 troops for whatever type it already applies to, like this river castle here would gain light troops. But if instead it is a production building, say like this bridge, then this bridge will actually just gain 8 heavy troops. By default, it's going to be heavy. And so the North, I think, is a faction that lends itself well to a river strategy, because we really want to focus, we're focusing more about gaining troops, which means that it's a little bit harder to focus on getting resource generation across all the different types, food, wood, gold, and stone, right? And rivers is a way to bypass that, because if you are lucky enough, you can draft production buildings that lets you use rivers to generate all 4 resource types, and gold being the bridge being the one that will generate gold. So I've enabled that for this run. In fact, I don't know, this river castle could also be pretty cool to enable as well if we're going to go with a river strategy. I've kind of had mixed luck though playing with this card. You know what? Let's just do it. Let's enable it. I don't normally do it, but it could be fun. Otherwise, here are some standard exploration cards that I like to enable. So Lucky Finds will provide a 20 to 40% chance to get double resources every time you explore a terrain square. This actually, even at level 1, kicks in quite often, and it's just a nice way to get a few extra resources for your troubles. And then Cartographers will, at the end of the round, will explore incomplete rows. And at level 1, it'll get all the rows that only have 1 missing square, but by level 3, that increases to include any row up to 3 missing squares. And so this is definitely an excellent card to take, because by the time you are getting to the later acts, you're probably going to have a lot of incomplete rows, because you're trying to optimize the recruitment of your military buildings while also trying to minimize it for the enemy military buildings. And you're just going to have gaps. I think that just comes with the territory. And Cartographers at least make sure that you can get some exploration resources for your efforts there. Moving on, here's that Fresh Troops card again. So this is one of our options to gain back defense. I also enable Compensation. This is a card that will award you a little bit of food, wood, and gold at the end of the round for every temporary building. And when you play as the North, those depots that you get at each round count as a temporary building. And so if we get this card, it'll just mean a few additional resources. It's just a little slight benefit. I'll just quickly call out. Strength in Numbers can be a really excellent card depending on which faction you use. However, you should never, ever enable this card as a North, because it won't work. Strength in Numbers only works when you can chain together friendly groups of troops, and you will not be doing that as the North. You'll be making individual assignments, so you want to make sure that this card is banned when you play as the North. No Mercy I've enabled because if we are able to recruit enough troops, then I will play every single enemy military building, and if we have this card, that means that we can get an additional 100 gold for doing so, and that gold can definitely come in handy with upgrades and such. Erudition is a technology card that I enable for every single run. It will provide a fourth selection when we draft cards at the end of each round, and that can greatly increase the chances that we find the card that we want for a run. And this is a technology card that I like to draft early on. In fact, if the best thing often is running into a university early in Act 1 and be able to draft this card right off the bat. Here is that Herber's card again. This is our other option for gaining back defense, and actually my preferred option. This will, if we can get this early on, then that will almost pretty much set us, get us all set for the rest of the playthrough. All right, moving up. So we're going to skip all of these and go up to here, Conscription. So this is an interesting card. At the end of the round, you're going to, if you can afford to, you're going to lose some defense, but then gain more troops as a result. And so this is not a card that I would ordinarily enable, because if you are playing well into the strengths of the faction and winning your battles comfortably, gaining these additional troops at the cost of some defense will actually make you lose out, because those additional troops will eventually, for most factions, will turn into gold. For the Order faction, that turns into Crusaders. So you do get some resources as a result of having extra or leftover friendly troops at the end of the round. But whatever you get there, if it is gold, it's not enough to make up for the fact that you lost here like 10 defense. It'll cost you more to replenish that defense than it will to gain those troops and get some additional resources for it. The exception, of course, is the North, because we actually do want to lose defense when we can afford to, because that will keep our Fury meter high. And because we are going to be playing with cards that replenish defense during the round, we can afford to lose this, to take this hit, because we're going to replenish it at the start of the next round. So I guess this card, you could enable it if you, with other factions, if you draft or if you enable cards that let you replenish defense. It's just that is a strategy that I would apply for harder difficulties for other factions, but generally speaking, it's something that I mostly will focus on just for the North. Okay, and then here, Thieves' Hideout, my favorite military building. This one will recruit 10 to 20 troops for any building, friendly or hostile, placed within a range of 2. However, every time that you do so, you are going to lose some food, wood, and gold resources. And so it is pretty ridiculous, the amount of buildings you can place in range of a Thieves' Hideout. This card has carried me through countless playthroughs on Nightmare difficulty. You can basically, and as the North, you can basically rely on a Thieves' Hideout and Herberus, and that will just get you through the entire run. If I can even get 2 copies of this, that would be fantastic. 1 is probably enough, though. And speaking of which, overpowered cards, here's the Blacksmith, the most overpowered card in the entire game. So this one at the end of the round is going to copy the resources or troops gained by 1 random adjacent building. And so basically, when you use this card, you are going to pair it with your most powerful card in your deck. So I might stick this next to a Thieves' Hideout, for example, and double the number of troops recruited there. You could even stick this next to other production buildings if you desperately need some kind of resource. And of course, if you upgrade this, you can place this adjacent to multiple buildings and just copy all their effects. This one, getting the Blacksmith basically saves you the trouble of having to draft another building of the type that you want to copy, and it gives you much more flexibility because you can place this next to any building that you want, and in fact multiple buildings once you start upgrading it. So definitely looking to get this card during the run. I mean, it's not critically necessary, but it definitely is very helpful. Fantastic, and that's the end of the progress tree. So with that, let's dive straight into our run here. So we're gonna play on hard difficulty. In my experience, normal difficulty can be sometimes a bit of a cakewalk, and so playing on hard just keeps me a little bit more accountable in my decision making. And what we face is basically enemy garrisons that are a little bit stronger. Replenishing our defense is a little bit more costly, as is hiring mercenaries. At the same time, though, there are other debuffs that you'll see on Extreme and Nightmare that don't get applied to Hard, so at the very least we don't have to play with cheesy strategies just to win the run. And so, okay, let's select the North. Again, looking at our starting deck, here's the Hall of Heroes card that I mentioned earlier. So our goal is to try to place the depots next to our Hall of Heroes while also connecting those depots to large terrain networks. And if we do that, we're able to gain additional resources as a result. It also has this interesting property where if you can place military buildings adjacent to it, it will send some troops to those buildings. It's a small effect. It's not going to really make or break the run, though. This thing and the Hall of Heroes itself also has a garrison of 10 at level 2, so it just kind of has some interesting mechanics associated with it. Scouting is the card I mentioned that gives you the depots. At level 2, it's going to add 2 random level 2 depots, and the level I think just determines how much resources you can gain from it. When we upgrade this to level 3, we'll be getting 3 level 3 depots for our efforts, and that's something we can use to our advantage if we manage to draft the Thieves Hideout card, because you can add all 3 of those next to the Thieves Hideout if you want to maximize troop recruitment over getting resources. There's this Raiding Camp 2, which is going to start at level 1. It has a very minor garrison of 5. And yeah, the interesting effect where if you place it next to an enemy building, it will take away 15 defense, which will increase your fury, and then spawn itself again that you can place another camp. So this is about taking intentional damage to create additional armies, because again, it's not just about how many troops you recruit, it's about how well you can spread them out so that at least you can attack every single enemy group. You know, that being said, I don't actually use the raiding camp all that much because I think it's kind of weird to take damage that way, but it is definitely an interesting card. And then finally, awareness. Again, because we don't have the opportunity to chain groups together and change the type of troops that they have, you now are in a situation where you might have to fight at a disadvantage quite often because you're making individual assignments. And so awareness will forego that by removing at least the disadvantage that your troops would get when fighting. So at level 1, our heavy troops will no longer be at a disadvantage against ranged troops. And actually, if you upgrade this to level 2, that will also add light troops. And then at level 3, it adds ranged troops. So you can ensure at the very least that at level 3 that all your troops will at least not fight at a disadvantage. They can still fight at an advantage if you choose, if you make that assignment correctly, but you won't have to be forced to fight at a disadvantage if you just don't have that diversity in troops. So that's the starting deck for the North, and with some of the missions I completed, I also have a starting defense of 70, as well as 100 wood and 100 gold as my starting resources. So with that, let's go ahead and start the run. Now, if you have unlocked the progress tree up to the fortune teller, that is always going to be the first building that you come across. And the goal here is to basically thin out the number of possibilities that we get when we draft new cards. So you want to select the option that has the most number of cards that you don't want. So don't do it for cards that you do want. So in this case, like here, I think I actually want at least cartographers and lucky finds. These other ones might be okay too. These ones I don't want, but there's only 3 of them, so that's not great. Mountains I actually don't really care about in this specific run, so this is by far the best option. We're going to remove mountains. And then before we choose our next option, I'm going to scroll up to see, how our paths are going to diverge. So after this first peaceful round, we're going to go either to a university or a guild. I might think about going to the guild because I think we need more building cards up front. Then there's a hostile and a peaceful region. Generally speaking, when you have the option to choose between a hostile and a peaceful region, you want to pick the hostile one, because choosing the peaceful one means that the boss at the end of the act is going to have an additional garrison to it, and that will make that fight much harder. Generally, the boss fight is always going to be the hardest one you'll face for each act. We're going to run to some depots where we can acquire additional resources. Hit a trading fair where we can trade those resources for our benefit. One more hostile peaceful, followed by more hostile and peaceful, one more depot, and then either a port or another trading fair. In the port, we can potentially upgrade a card. So that all looks very good. I want to take this building one here. So looking at these two, I'm going to look at my cards right now. Scouting is maybe the one that I want to upgrade first. But so with that in mind, I'm actually going to pick this center option so I have more variety. All right, let's get it started. Okay, and so given that we have these depots that we want to use to chain up networks, I generally try to play, when playing as North, I try to separate the grid based on terrain type. So I kind of got forest going here on the bottom right. I've got this new, I've got this plains going on the bottom left. And now I also got to worry about rivers as well. And it's helpful to see what depots you get. So you won't know actually going into the round what terrain types these depots will be assigned to. It's random. So given that I have 3 types, plains, forest, and rivers, I could get 2 of the same. I could get 2 food depots, for example. That is entirely possible. Or it could be food and forest, or sorry, food and wood. It could be wood and rivers. You may not actually know what you get until you start going through enough cards to see those pop up. So, but I see the first one coming up here. So with that in mind, and I got to think about how I want to play this. I'm going to place this here. And then I need to, this river card is just... So I might just place the food one here. And then my Hall of Heroes on top. And so now, the other one is gold. Okay, so the gold one is associated with river. So that means I want to, so I don't, now I know I don't need to worry about chaining together forest. I can just focus on the other 2. So I'm going to do it like this. This is, this is much better. Like that, continue building up that plains. And now I can place this gold depot next to my Hall of Heroes as well as next to this river network. So I'm just going to do that. Like this. And the forest, we're just going to... How many river pieces? I have 1 river piece left, so I do need to leave room for that. Oh, there's that final river piece. I think I can probably place this over here. This final river piece. And we're done. There you go. And because we were able to place those depots next to the Hall of Heroes, there was a little animation there at the very end where I got some additional resources. And now we get to plundering. So again, even though we don't have any enemy groups to fight, we can still send our troops to plunder resources. And I mentioned earlier that I wanted to get some more food to upgrade that my scouting card so I can have even more depots. So I'm going to send this guy over here, and that should plunder, I think, 30. It's a 3-to-1 ratio, and I'm going to send this over here as well, and we'll see what happens. There we go. Plundering complete. Most excellent. Ooh, okay, so I didn't get any buildings to work with, but that's still fine. We are going to take... We'll go ahead and grab cartographers because I do want to get more exploration yields. So we're going to take this guild because I do want a building. So here we might get herborist. It's kind of a low probability, but that would be really nice. Here I might get fluvial guard, which would be excellent. And here is nothing that I want. So let's see if we can get herborist first. Oh, we do. Okay, excellent. That is the card I want. Okay, and then we're going to go here into our next hostile region. And let's slot in that herborist. Actually, we don't even really need it, to be honest. Because we can't... we don't have any defense to replenish. I did forget about that. So maybe I take it out. And but we will probably upgrade it at least. So let's go ahead and go into the fight. That will be, you'll see that'll come in handy a little bit later. So we got 2 river castles, and we're facing plains and rivers, so that's fine. Okay. So with the river castles, you know, our goal is to make sure that we put those next to make sure they're not next to a river network. Oh, actually. Need to place this down here. Alright, there's my food depot. And there's a gold depot. So now I just need to know where my Hall of Heroes is going to pop up. You know what, I'm hoping it's just going to pop up right here. I can place it right there. So I am going to place this here and place this here. And then the Hall of Heroes will just go right on top like that. I don't like 2 more rivers. Okay. Can I get a better size? No, that's not really. So we'll just stick this on top. Stick this on top as well. Here's my Hall of Heroes. Just do it like this. Like this. Like this. There we go. It's on top. That did not help me. How can I complete more rows? I can do it like this, and oh no, just do it like that. There you go. Oh, there's cartographers kicking in. Most excellent. Okay, so we're done. And now the question is, how do we fight? So I could send my troops out to fight these enemy troops and win the round cleanly. But again, because I want to be accelerating my resource collection and intentionally be taking damage so I can build up my fury, I am going to instead send my troops out to plunder these resources. So I'm going to... Do I want the gold? I think the gold is going to be better. So we're going to plunder that. These leftover troops are going to deal damage. But now I've got fury as a result. So you can see I took 28 damage. But I got 56 fury because it's a 2-to-1 ratio. And this 56 is going to translate into 56 additional troops next round. Oh, Thieves Hideout. Well, this is a blessed run. That is the building I wanted. Alrighty, so we're going to upgrade this Thieves Hideout and upgrade the Herbalist. So now at level 2, it still has a range of 2, but now I'm converting each plane into a forest and getting 3 defense for my efforts. So that's fantastic. And in fact, let's see. That is quite a bit of... I should be able to replenish that defense just fine. Okay, so in fact, on top of that, I am going to go and take the gold and then maybe trade it for wood. Let's see. We're going to take a defense hit here. Now we only have 27, which seems very, very, very scary, but it's okay. Trust, things will be fine. We're going to get a whole ton of wood by trading some gold, just like that. And now we can do even more upgrades. So I'm going to upgrade the scouting card. So we'll need some food. And now we have definitely enough wood to at least get Thieves Hideout to level 3 even once we get there. Let's go here first. Okay, now I want to add in, honestly, I don't like the raiding camp. It's just a few extra troops to plunder, but might as well. So we'll include it. Okay, and so with the Herbrist, we want to make sure we build a nice large plains network that we then connect, we stick the Herbrist in the middle of. So that is what we're going to look out for. At the same time, we can also try to make sure that we are building up our networks, and then, okay, so we got the food coming up, and then also making sure that we are getting troops for our thieves hideout. Boom. Okay, so I realized I just killed off my forest piece there, so unfortunate, but that's okay. I don't know if this... I'll stick this here for now. I want to stick this here. Okay. That's interesting. I don't know when my next... Okay, so it's a wood depot is the next one. Okay, so with that in mind, then, so I'm not going to worry about how many more. I have 2 more river pieces, and I need to connect my. I want to place this over here. I want to place that over there, though. Where should my Hall of Heroes go? This. 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 Then like this. Alright, there we go. That's my Herbrist kicking in. Look at that. Look at all those. Look at all the defense we're getting back there. It's just lovely. We could even do it one more time over here. Beautiful. And then we're going to just do this. And we connected our depots up, so we got even more troops. Oh, sorry, got more resources. And then here we go, the Fury kicked in. So it added 18 to this force, 18 to this river, and 20 to this force, which if you add that up is what, 36 plus 20, 56. So that was exactly our Fury meter. And again, now we need to ask, like, well, what are we? We've got 66 defense to work with, and we're gonna take, if we let them all hurt us, then it's gonna be 45, which we can take. So we can just focus on plundering. Now, what do we do for plundering? So I think if I send this here, I will just take all of that away. We can send this here. And we can send this here, and that will, in fact, just get rid of everything. And so we do have some leftover troops that we can use to actually go fight. I'm going to choose not to fight because I want to generate Fury for my next hostile round and use those troops, and then use the Herbrist to replenish any defense that I lose because of this action. So let's go ahead and start the battle. Let me just make sure I got all the 1, 2, and 3. Yep, I got all the depots. And all those extra troops gave me some extra gold, which is fantastic. 90 Fury. Oh, robustness. Okay, this is excellent. So we're going to take this card too. Alrighty. going to go here. So, Robustness is a card that will, if there are any enemy groups left over at the end of the round, they will deal 10% less damage, but still count the normal amount towards Fury. This doesn't apply to bosses, however. So, in that example that I just had, where we had something like, what, 45? Let's just call it 50 troops, 50 enemy troops that we left alone. So, if I had Robustness in place, those 50 troops would actually only deal, they'll deal 10% less damage, so they would deal only 45 damage to my defense, but they would still contribute 50 times 2, 100 Fury, which is excellent. So Robustness is just a card that will allow us to scale Fury much more quickly, and it's really fantastic, so definitely hang on to that. Okay, we did not get enough food to upgrade this Thieves Hideout to level 3. That's okay. We're just going to hang tight. Do we want to upgrade additional cards? We actually could upgrade this Robustness card, in fact. Even to level... We need 100 gold for the next... Oh, wait, but no, I need gold for my Thieves Hideout, so... I'm going to hold off. I'm going to hold off. Okay, so horse stable and a shipyard. Let's go. Alright, already we got our food depot, so getting that card early does probably mean that we may not be able to place it next to... I'm just going to place it down. Yeah, I don't know when my Hall of Heroes is going to pop up, so I may just stick this in a corner. And this is here. So now I got both of those. And now my Herberst is popping up, which is fantastic. It's not the best shape, though. Maybe here. And actually, I want to hold off on... applying that Herberst, at least until I can get a few more food depots in place, because if I can, I do want to actually... sorry, what am I saying? I want to hold off on using the Herberst until I get more plain pieces on the grid, because then that will add food to the food depot. If I put it down, it's gonna, all these planes are going to change to forest, and that's actually going to screw up the planes network. So I will need to take that into account. So let me see. I can place this here. If I place this here, will I be able to get that? No. So I'm going to have to just place this like this. And then place this like this. And now I got my gold right here. I'm just not getting any additional... Alright, I'm going to... no, I can do it one... Oh, wait, hold on. Hold on. I can't place my Hall of Heroes here, I don't think, so I'm gonna just go ahead and place this down. There we go. There is that. Let's place this here. And place this. Ugh, wait. Okay, I need more. I need more stuff for my Herberst, so... Okay, yeah, I'll just place that there, that's okay. Alright, I don't know if I will be able to connect this wood clearly, so... unfortunate. Okay, so I'm just going to stick this here. I can't put the gold depot anywhere though, either. Just place this here. Place this at the bottom. Just going to connect this all up. Place this here, here, here. Oh, I am sorry. This is such an ugly looking ugly looking grid. So here we'll just hold on. We'll place this here. Ooh, okay. So unfortunately, we were not able to use that Herberist quite as effectively this round. So I will need to do a little bit of pruning of the enemy here. We can take, so again with the 20%. So if I look at, say, these two groups, the 23s, that will add up to 46. That won't do 46 damage. Again, it'll take off 20%, which is about 9, I think. So it will only do 37 damage, which is seems kind of risky, but we'll go ahead and take it because again, I need some additional troops for the next round. So I'm going to do that, and then we're going to focus on plundering. Unfortunately, we just did not get a lot of food, though. We just... should we shave it off a little bit more? No, it's okay. So we're going to do this, and let's go. So, okay, so here, 51 to 15. So again, it didn't, if it was going to do 46 damage, I would have only had 5 left over, but again, the robustness kicked in, so we were able to mitigate some of that damage. And our Herberist only got 30 defense back this round, which is annoying. Oh, I am 10 off. I am 10 off of my upgrade of my Thieves' Hideout. That's kind of annoying. Okay, we're going to take Conscription, though, because this will give us an additional troops we can work with at the end of the round. Fluvial Guard actually would also be good, but Conscription is, I think, the cooler thing to do here. So we'll do that. Grab some gold. Our upgrades. We do have level 2 cards we can upgrade, so we're going to pay the extra gold. Oh, nice. Level 3 Thieves' Hideout. Most excellent. Okay. And then do we want to... I think at this point then we're going to increase our robustness. And we are going to even upgrade our conscription. So that looks beautiful. Let's go into the Act 1 boss. Okay, and this is the gate, so we don't need to unlock any additional building slots because we are full up. I can't upgrade that Herberist anymore because I don't have stone yet, but my gosh, I have a lot of wood. Let's go ahead and go into this fight, same strategy as before. And so the Act 1 boss, the gate, if you've never played it before, forces you to play compact at the beginning because you have to play a certain number of cards here on the left-hand side before this gate opens up, and you can place cards down here. And that can make it very aggravating to be able to get pieces lined up like a big plains network from my Herberist, but we will try our best. So just gonna place this over here. All right, I'm already on the... Okay, I already need to start thinking about where I'm gonna place my Thieves' Hideout. So the Thieves' Hideout works off of buildings, right? And this boss thing actually counts as a building. So I would like to try to start stacking maybe here on this right-hand side. Oh, I got a lot of force there though, so maybe we can do something over here. Here? Yeah, so anyways, this food depot, I don't think I'm going to be able to actually get resources for it. I really just want to use it for my recruitment, so I'm going to stick this here. Oh my god, when am I going to get the thing? There it is, okay. Oh. I don't want to do that. Oh, I forgot. You can't place the rating cap next to a building. Alright, now I gotta... Now it's time to start stacking up. Okay. Is this considered military? It's considered special. So I think that should be safe. Yeah, that is safe. Okay. Okay. Range of 2 herborists. If I place it here, I think that should be okay if I place that there. And where is my... Where's my thieves hideout? There's my thieves hideout. Okay, so if I place this here, that means I have space to put this here and here, and this should get 1. If I place it like this, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buildings. Multiplied by 20 gives me 100. Boom. Oh, and I also gave this, so unfortunate, but that is okay. More planes for my herborist. More planes for my herborist. There we go, and that almost maxes that out. Look at that. Okay, so we got back some defense, but not a whole ton, and now we gotta figure out how to assign troops. So this 100 can go straight for the boss, and then we do need to send some ranged troops for these. And now let's see what's left over. 63 minus 12 is still gonna be too high, so we still need to keep the on the offensive. So we're gonna go. What's the big? I guess this is the biggest. So now with 40. So if I take out these two alarm tower groups as well as the boss, that should only leave these 2 strategic pavilions left, which is 42. And then with robustness, that is going to get that below 39, which means we'll be safe. And so we can spend the rest of our troops on pillaging, which unfortunately is only this wood depot because I used the other ones just haphazardly. And we'll have a few troops left over to get us some... let me do this actually, sorry. A few troops left to get us some additional gold. So let me just make sure this is out, this is out, the boss is out. It's just these 2. And you'll see, interesting, because we're going to take more, seem to take more damage than we have defense, it's going to give a game over screen, but then robustness will kick in and we'll be just fine. So let's go ahead and start the battle. See, battle lost, which usually is what you get when you actually lose the game. But robustness kicked in and we're fine. And we got 114 fury for our efforts. Oh, a stone mine. Actually, you know what? Do I need a stone mine? 75. Yeah, why not? And that's the end of Act 1. Okay, and so now the question is, what do we want to leave behind? Typically, if I'm able to get the herborist early on, and I can work off potentially a river strategy, I would leave forest behind. But But that means you don't, and I might do that just because we've gotten so much wood, and we've basically upgraded everything we needed to that really needs wood, except maybe this awareness card. So I might just go for that anyways. Otherwise, I would leave the river behind, just so that we can keep on getting the food and wood resource. So let's go ahead and leave the forest behind, though. We might still get some river cards. Okay. Act 2 has started. Let's look at our path going forward. Guild and University, but this one has the hostile region, so we'll take the guild. Get a second guild, get some depots, a third guild. Okay, so we'll definitely have a lot of guilds and buildings. One more hostile region, a port, hostile region on the right, and then the keep. The only unfortunate thing, you know what, I might actually just take this peaceful region. It depends on how well I can get. Depends on where our defense is at. If our defense looks pretty pitiful, I'll go for the peaceful region maybe. No, but then I won't be able to get Fury. Oh, this 25. This is the one kind of weakness of playing as the North and using Herberus, is that if you have a hostile region right before the boss that has a small percentage of planes, it'll make it really hard to replenish your defense and build up a Fury meter for the boss fight. But I'm going to trust, because we got some pretty good military cards. And we got even more. Let's just see what our options we get for all of these. So this one gets us Fluvial Guard. If you don't know, you can, if you don't select, as long as you don't select the choice, you can always go quit and go back to the menu. So bottom one gets us Fluvial Guard. The top one could get us a river castle, which might be interesting if we can, or a bridge. Because how much river are we? This one has a lot of plains. This one has a lot of plains. This one have a lot. This one has a lot of river. And this will have some river. And the keep is. Which one is the keep? The keep has towers, so. Interesting. I am not really sure which one I want to pick. Well, you know what? Given that I mentioned earlier in the playthrough that Fluvial Guard is another way to try to win out militarily, let's just go with that then. We'll showcase what that looks like. So in order to use this, I need another building slot. Honestly, I'm going to take off the raiding camp. It's just not helpful. And we'll unlock, get the stone mine in place. And then I'm actually going to upgrade. I can only pick one of these two. This gives us 6 stone. I'm going to upgrade the stone mine because I really do want to get Herberus up to level 3 as soon as possible. And I don't think we need the troops from the Fluvial Guard quite yet. So let's do this. Alrighty. And horse stables and a training camp. Alright, let's take a look. I'll put you in reserve for now. Oh, whoops. Wait. Oh, that's fine. Okay, so this. Okay, so here we go. How can I do this? And let's see. We're gonna put this here. Oops. Put this here. Then we put this here. And this here. And that'll get us a ton of troops. At the expense of we'll stick this down here. Our river network is no longer connected, unfortunately, so I did kind of screw that over, but it's okay. And we'll stick this here. Boom, boom, boom. I still have a few more pieces I can squeeze in here, so I don't really want to do that. Actually do need some more. I'm gonna do this so I can get a little bit more defense back. There we go. Okay. Okay, we'll do this. And then, oh, actually, do I want to do that? Let's do it like this. And then I can at least try to use this fluvial guard for something, I suppose. No, here, we can do it like this. Like that. Okie dokie. I can still maybe... Nope, that did not help. Okay, I can get one more stone out of this. Like that. Alright. Boom. Okay. We didn't get a whole ton of defense back. It's kind of stuck this in an awkward spot. So we will need to watch out for... Oh wow, we got so much stone. I guess I did not really need that stone mine all too much, but that's okay. So we're going to let... If I do 60, that's going to be too much. How big are my troops? Wow, they'll just straight out kill them. Okay, so I honestly can only I have to kill off 2 groups, unfortunately, and then just do it like this. Like this. Alright, so we're not going to be able to build as much fury this round, but we'll definitely be able to pillage a lot, though. Do I want more? I really actually would prefer more gold, I think. Oh, here, I have this 100. So, oh, by the way, so interesting. You see here there's a resource icon above my stone mine. So, and you have to be really careful. One of the unique mechanics of the North when doing plundering is that if you choose to plunder a production building, it will show this, I don't know, icon here of something getting broken. It does mean that you'll get the resources, but then you'll also actually lose that card from your deck. So I'll actually lose my stone mine and no longer have it anymore. That actually may not be the worst thing in the world, because I mainly wanted my stone mine so I can get that 3rd Herberist upgrade. I don't necessarily need it anymore, but we're not going to do that. That just doesn't seem nice, so we're not going to do it. So instead, I'm going to just plunder this other stone. Okay, so we've plundered our depots, we've destroyed this group, and destroyed this group, so there's only just this 30 left. Let's go. There we go. So only 90 fury this round. Okay, and so let's see. We can just take reservists and get back some of our defense instead of having to try to continuously get it back using our Herberist. This actually might be really clutch to use right before the boss, because I know I'm not going to be able to use my Herberist that well that round because there's only 25% plain. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this reservist card. Let's go to the guild. Okay, we can get even another Herberist. Something on rivers or something with a garrison. Let's pick the rivers option. Okay, and actually we can double up our fluvial guard, or maybe get a bridge for some more gold. How are we doing with gold collection? I don't know. Double fluvial guard seems a little overkill, so let's do the bridge, mix things up. Okay, and now the question is, what do we actually want resource-wise? I think we probably need food, I think, more than anything else. I'm going to go ahead and upgrade this. because this is fine. Oh, I guess we need gold. We need food too. Yeah, oh, well, there is no gold. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna do food. I'll take that. My gosh, so many buildings. Okay, let's try this one. And we can maybe get something that is... Actually, in this case, you can even get the sawmill. Because we left behind forests, and this will be a way to generate wood. Man, why do we have so much wood? Did I really just not spend it? Okay, I guess I just haven't spent it yet. So that could be interesting. The boathouse is a card that is unique to the north. And what you want to do is you place this adjacent to a connected river, and then try to connect that river to enemy buildings, and they will lose troops as a result. The thing is, though, they don't lose that many troops, and it's really hard to connect the river to all buildings, so I'm not the biggest fan of this card, to be honest. So I'm just going to quit the menu first, just to see what we do if we select this. And this one doesn't actually give us anything we like, so alright, you know what? We will go ahead and... Yeah, this last one's no fun, so we're going to pick that sawmill, just in case we need more to... Unless... Oh man, do I really need more food? I mean, I might actually... Because that's 250. Whoa. And then 150 for this one. 150 for this one. You know what? We just have so much wood. I'm going to go for the water mill. Even though we can't produce wood, I think we should have enough to tide us over, so... Okay, so we probably could spend some gold to open up some building slots, and then we need to think also about upgrades. We'll take off that stone mine. We're not going to have enough to upgrade this, so I might just upgrade the bridge instead. Stone mine, bridge, and a water mill. Upgrade the bridge. Upgrade the water mill. Oh, we can even double upgrade the bridge. I don't really need to upgrade awareness. Do we want to upgrade conscription? Sure. Alrighty. Let's go. Barracks and stronghold. Alright, so now the placement is going to start getting a little ugly. So I want to connect things up on a river while also... Oh my goodness. While also trying to build up a plains network as well as getting things connected to my Hall of Heroes. It's a lot, so we're not going to be able to do everything here. That... man. Sure. We'll stick this down here. I'll just double up that stronghold spot, I think, maybe. Man. Okay, we're gonna... Actually, you know what? If I have to place that, then... How am I gonna place my stronghold? Like this, right? Like this. Like that. Okay. Do it like this. Maybe I just go ahead and stick my herborist down here. I can at least help my thieves hide out a little bit. Oh, actually, sorry. I can do it. And then stick this here. There we go. Boom. Can I get the Hall of Heroes in? Oh my gosh, sorry. Trying to think of how I'm gonna... Can I get my... There we go, Hall of Heroes. While also squeezing in some stuff for this. This. Like that. Look at that. We're almost at full defense. That is the power of a level 3 herbalist there. We don't have any... Well, actually, I do want to connect that river up, so... I'll just do it like this, I guess. Alrighty. Unfortunately, that barracks got a whole ton of troops this round. That's just because, well, we got a lot of rivers that got explored to give us gold. So, with that in mind, 74 minus, I think like 14 is 60 is going to be too much. This added together is even too high. So we got to chip this down a little bit. If I do this, that's going to just take it all out. What about like that? 29 plus 39 is like 70. About 70 minus 14 is still a little bit too much. So maybe a little bit of pruning here. How about like this? 59 minus 10 should just be enough. In fact, it should be minus 11. So we're going to play it super, super scary. Here's the thing, though. So that gold depot got a lot of gold. Unfortunately, because I stuck it also next to the... it got troops from the Fluvial Guard. It got troops, and therefore I cannot plunder it. So all that gold that I could have plundered, I can't do it anymore. It's okay. It's not the biggest worry. So we'll just instead plunder these. And I'll attack this. And so again, this is out. 59 minus, should be minus 11 at least, will give us, oh, I meant robustness 30, so it'll be even more than that. So that should be safe. I've plundered this. I've plundered this. I don't have anything else to plunder, so that should be the end. That should be the end. Let's start battle. Again, it says battle lost because it seems I've lost more than my health, but with robustness, I actually survive. 158 fury. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Thanks to that bridge, I got a nice hefty amount of gold this round. Oh, we'll just get compensation. Alrighty, and so now the question is, what do I want to upgrade? I might just do a level 1 upgrade, even though I could potentially have some level 2 options. Let me see, if I upgrade these two and my Fluvial Guard, that could be interesting. Going into the port. Is that right? Let's see. Fluvial Guard is that would be 250, 400 wood. I would just have enough. And then gold is also enough. So, okay. Yep, I'm going to upgrade this. Upgrade this. And upgrade this. And then I'm going to pay the 150 gold to upgrade a level 2 card. And we got that. Perfect. So here we are not going to have a lot of planes to work with, but I am going to use this opportunity to sell my reservist card. Ploosh. In fact, we don't even need my Herberus anymore, at least not for this round. So what? Stone mine? Just get some more stone for kicks. What can I still upgrade? I still have something I can upgrade on my compensation. That's not a big deal. All right, training camp and place of arms. Let's go. Yeah. Place of arms is always such an awkward looking building to place. The T shape. How am I going to take care of that one? Let's just put it in reserve. Let's do this at the bottom. Oh man, nope. Alright, fine. I didn't calculate that right, so... I'll just do this, I guess. Alrighty, and so now we can think about our buildings, recruiting for our thieves hideout. There we go. Still don't have a good place for that training camp yet. I guess unless I stick it kind of like this. I guess I could do that. Not very pretty though. There you go. That's my river stuff kicking in. We'll just do this. And this. This. Okay, still 2 player buildings and 1 enemy building left. So I can place my Hall of Heroes down here and I guess do something like this. Oh, I forgot I didn't have my Fluvial Guard in place. Oh, unfortunate. Okay. Oh. I was gonna try to you know what? Sorry, if only the Fluvial Guard in my Hall of Heroes was reversed in order, I could stick the Fluvial Guard right in this 2 square gap and then place my Hall of Heroes outside, and that would maximize my recruitment, but I don't think I can do that. I need to find the training camp somewhere else to go. So yeah, we're just not gonna, it's just not gonna be ideal. Unfortunate. Okay, so we need to think about how to maximize exploration. We'll do like this, and like this. Here goes all the fury. All right, and so in this case, 38 times 2 is 76 minus 30%. So that's like 21. That's not quite. So instead, if I do 26 plus 38, oh, math. All right, it's 64 minus 18. I think that is enough. 30%, right? Yes. So let me do that again. 20. That is 50 and 14, 64, and 30% is like about 18. So that should be fine. Okay, so we gotta take out this last group on the bottom. This, and that should be enough troops. And now we can just go plundering. Again, you gotta be careful. This bridge has gold, but I can't, and this sawmill, or sorry, watermill has food. But if I take those, I'm gonna lose the buildings permanently. So we focus mostly just on the depots. And I think that's it. Still have these 52 troops here, but that's okay. The thing with playing with the North is it takes a lot of, because we're just assigning things individually, it does take a little bit more, I guess, concentration to make sure that you are plundering everything that you should be plundering, killing all the troops that you should be killing off, and making sure whatever's left over is actually small enough for you to survive. So we are going to go. Battle lost. Here we go. Oh, 6. Okay, we're alive. 168 fury. Let's just do no mercy. Ooh. Alrighty. So that felt like a close one, didn't it? Let's go into the keep. Alright, now we definitely want to take out the stone mine. Add the herborist back in. Do I even care about any upgrades here? I think at this point we're fine. The fluvial guard could be good to upgrade to level 3, but we don't really need to do it right now. I honestly probably don't even need that stone mine. But okay. Okay. Towers, and I got all my buildings, so let's go. Alright, so the Act 2 boss Towers has an interesting mechanic where if you place any buildings in the line of sight of towers, represented by the squares with the eyeballs, they will recruit troops. In this case, it's 17 troops of different types. And so the goal basically is to try to stack all your buildings either in these, tuck away in these corners on the bottom left or right, or kind of in the top center here. So I am going to try to build up from there. I may intentionally at least trigger one of these if I can get a nice big plains group on the left hand side just for my herborist. So I'll see how that works though. And I'm going to just stick this on the right hand side. Like this. Oh, there's that card coming up. Okay, so I gotta figure out how to where am I going to place my thieves' hideout and everything else that goes with it. So let's think about that. I can place it right here, put the stone thing here, and then place my fluvial guard over here, and then stack stuff on top. So that should be good. Like this, like this, like this. Okay, and then I want to build up a bit so I can get let's just stick this down. Over here. Like do this, I can then stick this here. I guess even more. And then now the question is, nope, okay. I'm definitely lacking on planes pieces at the moment, so that's gonna have to just wait a little longer. I'm just gonna stick this down. That's okay. There it is, that. Oh man, how many more buildings do I have? I have 4 buildings left. Where am I gonna stick this? I don't really. Oh, that's a nice small one at least. Just do it like this. There we go. Can squeeze that in there. That is what I was looking to do just now. We'll stick our Hall of Heroes over here. Nope, we're gonna stick it over here. Like that. Because then I can stick the water mill like this, and I can stick the gold like this, and then I can put this water piece and it will connect to all 3 of these buildings, and the fluvial guard is connected. Oh, sorry, the water mill already did it. Okay, that's great. Never mind. Let's just stick this down here. Can I change this to a better shape? Like that. There's only that 1 spot left, so it's okay. Just do like this. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Oh, I actually can plunder some stuff. But, let's see. We're going to do this. And let's just plunder this thing. And we'll plunder this thing. Is that going to be enough plundering? Okay, it's just enough, but fine. Alright, and then we just send everyone else at the boss. Alright, we didn't trigger any of the towers. We got a ridiculous amount of troops, and that should be a wrap. Look at that. No, I actually didn't gain any fury this round, unfortunately, because I should have actually let the boss hit us a little bit, I guess. My bad. We got 40 fury. So, sorry. I wasn't thinking completely straight there. But it was definitely a good round troop recruitment wise. Insatiable Greed is a technology card unique to the north and gives us an additional 50%. At level 2, gives an additional 50% resources when pillaging production buildings. So, you could use this at some point if you want to just get rid of your production buildings. Yeah. Sure, why not? And now we're going to leave behind, I think, the mountain because I don't really need stone anymore. So let's do that. Most excellent. And you can see we are racking up quite a few resources, especially gold, just because. In fact, you know what? Just so I can showcase it, I'm going to take fresh troops as well. So now we'll have 2 ways to replenish defense. Okay, and then let's go. We can go here, pick the left or the right. I might as well just go left. The right has. And then finish off with this trading fair and face the basilica. Okay, so Let's go over here. All right. Let's see what we want to upgrade. I can get the Fluvial Guard up to the maximum level. So I think we'll do that first. Oh, unless I want to upgrade fresh troops. Let's upgrade fresh troops instead. That means I'll have to wait a little bit longer to get... Oh, I'm not going to have enough wood. Oh, I'm finally running out of wood. Hold on a second. Sorry, hold on. Will I be able to get wood? I will not be able to get wood. Interesting. Okay, so maybe I don't. I can maybe get wood at the very, very end. But I'm going to upgrade this instead. And because I have so much gold, I can upgrade cartographers to level 3. And then we'll go to the round. I should have gotten that sawmill now. I finally ran out of wood. So, alright, watchtowers and rally points. That should be fine. And now, in Act 3, you get these wasteland tiles, which kind of suck. They don't give you any resources when you explore them. Very rude, but that's okay. What am I going to do with this gold depot? I guess I'll stick it over here. I have 2 gold depots that I don't really need right now. Okay, we'll stick you here and stick you here. So I can put this over here. And then at least I have some there we go. And then here, if I put this here, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 buildings. Okay. Kind of want my herberist to pop in at some point here, and my thieves hideout. Okay. Oh, I guess I could stick this up where it's like this, actually. That should still be fine. And you can see I'm getting some defense because that gold, because of fresh troops, the gold is being applied that way. How many more planes? I still have 4 planes pieces, but I have no idea where. I have no idea where that herborist is. That was not much better. So I'll just do it like this. Let me do it like this. Here we go. Whoa, nice big amount. There's that herborist. This, we are way over the top now. Even got a food depot to spare. Just stick this over here. Get all those troops. Oh, actually, should I maybe... How about the heck? Why not? Sorry. So I was thinking about undoing it because then, now that these gold depots have troops, I won't be able to pillage them. I think I'm doing okay on gold though, so I'm gonna allow it. That did not work. So let's do it like this. Boom. Alrighty, so what can we do? 30% again, so 82 minus 24 is definitely too much. So let's trim them down a little bit. Maybe I'll use this 14 on here. So now instead 65, the 22 and 43, 65 minus at least 18, I think, should be fine. Correct? 30%, so 65 minus 18 should be okay. So, all right, we'll get rid of the other troops. So I want to use ranged on these. And this on this. I have to trim this off a little bit more. I think there's a little bit of pillaging over here, but that's it. Okay, so this is out. This is out for the count. So again, it's just going to be that 65, which should be, I should be able to survive. So, okay, let's start the battle. Battle lost. 5 defense left. 170 fury. And so let's see, you can see in that round we collected 50 defense. Conscription took away 20. Fresh troops gave us 10, just because that's the limit. And we lost 150 gold because of that. Oh, you know what? That's actually taking gold away at the hard exchange rate, not the normal exchange rate. Oh, that's actually quite annoying. Well, it's okay. We have gold to spare. But sorry, I did not realize that. I assumed the normal exchange rate meant what you get on normal difficulty, but it is the difficulty you're playing at. So fresh troops may not be a card you want to use on higher difficulties then, because that's going to get really expensive. Our arborists did fine though, 60 defense. Look at that, so beautiful. Oh hey, sawmill, we can get our wood back. We are going to go to the left, I guess, because we don't need more buildings. Let's see what this one gives. Honestly, this is probably would have gone anyways, so. Alrighty. And our sawmill, get that up to level 3. We're going to pick this one with more planes. We're going to switch out the water mill now. Oh, actually, what do I need? Sorry, what was I even doing? I wanted to upgrade fresh troops, right? I don't really need to upgrade fresh troops, actually. But we have a lot of gold, so maybe we take out the bridge. What am I doing? We have a lot of gold. We just add in a building slot. Okay, Heretic's lair in the siege camp. The most annoying. I really do not like the Heretic's lair. It just nerfs your resource generation so much. Oh, okay. Honestly, I'm going to lose troops by placing this here, but I don't really care. Huh. Oh, it was not considered a military building. That's hilarious. Okay. I think this is where I can place my thieves hideout. Oh. So... Am I going to get it soon, though? I'm not going to get it soon, so maybe I will change that strategy. How do I... I'm trying to think if I place this here, I can... Okay, here we go. Alrighty. Put this down here. Heretics layer. Oh my lord. I'm just gonna take this away. When you're playing on hard difficulties, you won't be able to stick enemy military buildings in reserve like that, but you know what? We're not dealing with that today, so I'm just gonna do it. Because they are a pain in the butt, I tell you. There's my thieves hideout. Okay. So how do I do this to try to get more troops? 1, 2, 3. Any more buildings? I only have one more building left. I wonder what that is. Oh, the Fluvial Guard, right. Okay, so I can place that up on top. Nope, that's not correct. How do I place... Oh, I guess I could do it like this. Alright, my Thieves hideout's not going to be quite as overpowered this round. It's okay. I'm going to place this like this. Boom. Alrighty. This. Sure. Done. Okay. Alright, what do I want to do? I need to shave off a little bit. If I do that, that gives us 86 minus 24 is still too much. 25 plus 51 is 76. Minus 21 is too much. How about that? 60 minus 18 is 44? Is that right? 60 minus 8 is 42. So that should be okay, I think. Don't like doing the math. Alright, so... Sorry, I'm just doing that in my head one more time. 40. Yeah, that should be okay. Alright, so then we'll use this on here. And that should be fine, I think. Let's do it. Got all lost. Here we go. Oh, okay. That was enough. Oh, hey, River Castle. That's cool. And you can see with all these... With all the troops we have left over, we're just getting such a ridiculous amount of gold. Let's upgrade this River Castle. And so much gold that you can even spend some of it just to replenish your defense. If you're feeling a little worried about it, so you can do something like that, for example. We should be okay this round, though, because you have so many planes. Okay, so... I can't upgrade my Hall of Heroes anymore. Okay. Okie dokie. We're gonna put you on one side, and then okay, let's build up the river network. Sure, you can go there. And you're a range 3 card. I don't know if I'm realistically going to be able to. Oh, that's fine. I can put it over here. Like this. Oh wow, that actually got in range of the watchtower. Okay. Alright, so far we're doing fine. There it is. Okay, I was biding my time to get that, see when that Herberus is going to pop up. So it finally did. You can stick that down here. Gee. Oh no, we'll put this over here. And we'll put this over here. Ugh. Well, might as well. Man. Where am I gonna... stick this here on the top. There's my thieves. Okay, where am I gonna put my thieves' hideout so I can at least get something better for it? Okay. This. Ooh, a little dance there. Alright, here we go. So if I put this... Can I get even more buildings? I don't think so. So we're just going to do it like this. And do it like this. Can I get a long piece? Nope. Long piece? Nope. I was trying to see if I can squeeze in just a little bit more down there. Alrighty. Oh, hey, I got 70 troops in my river castle for my troubles. Okay, so... Again, we're going to do a little bit of shaving, so let's see. So let's take 89 is definitely going to be too much. How about this? This is going to be 73 minus 21 is still too much. So 57 is definitely fine. Okay, and then we take out the other group like this. And I don't think I have anything to pillage because I put it all, they all got troops. So that should be a wrap. Yes, double check. 57. And bloop. There we go. Alright, and you can see that our river production buildings are getting quite a bit of resources. Watermill, 144 food, sawmill, 144 wood. The bridge got 126 gold. We don't actually need any upgrades. We don't need upgrades, so we're stockpiling so many resources, but it's still really nice to see. Oh, we can do this. Alrighty, and now we have so many resources that you have to wonder what you're going to do with it all. I do want to upgrade my fresh troops and my strong defender. I don't even know what I'm going to trade. You know what? We're going to go here. And we're going to trade my compensation card because I don't really need this. Herborist. Just for kicks. Okay, and so with this situation, let's go ahead. We're in our final fight. We're going to upgrade this so that we can at least get even more defense back. Get it up there. And then I think all our buildings are basically upgraded. Oh, I did not. Oh, I still have enough of my Hall of Heroes. Whatever. It's not that important. We'll use our incredible amount of gold just to, why not just upgrade, get some of our defense back. And then, yeah, we'll go into this final fight here. You know, I don't even, let's throw in that Herborist just for kicks. How about that? We'll do double level 3 Herborist. Alright, Act 3 Basilica. This boss has a unique mechanic where every time you end your turn by placing a piece, any uncovered conversion squares here, and they start off with 6, will add to this conversion meter, and if you place any military buildings with a garrison that is less than the conversion meter, they get converted to the enemy, and the conversion meter goes right back down to 0. So generally what that means is that you want to wait till this meter builds up and then place a building and have it like suck up all the conversion meter so that the rest of your buildings basically become immune. And in the meantime, you're going to work on, of course, getting these squares covered. So the first 2 are usually pretty quick and easy. The following ones, however, can take a little bit more time. And of course, I'm playing pretty cleanly. You could also play a lot more focus where you just stack up to get these squares covered, but then it's going to look really ugly. You're not going to be able, you won't be able to play very compact, and if your military buildings are all the way at the end of your deck, that could spell trouble because then you'll run out of space on the grid before you can place them. Look at that, we almost... Alright, so we're going to do this, and that's probably going to eat up... There we go, that's one. That's fine, no big deal. Take this one out. Take this one out. I have another Herborist that I don't even really need at this point, but why don't we stick you down here? And down here, we're going to think about this, these hideout now. So if I stick it like this, I'm going to get these 4, and then I can place my river castle there, and that will get me something, so... Alright, and it stopped at 15, which is perfect. Oh, actually, no, sorry. It's still running. It's still running. Okay, so... Oops. This needs to go here. I'm going to cover this up. There we go. We stopped that. So at 15, we don't have to worry about it anymore. We're going to place this down here. And that gets a whole bunch of buildings. And then we're going to place this here, just to add to it. This can just replenish more defense that we don't actually need. It's fine. Why not? Alright. It's game over for this guy. I haven't even taken into account Fury, and I have enough troops to beat the boss, so you can see we're doing just fine. Oh my gosh, look at that. Alright, so we lost one building over here, which we'll take out. And we can also do a little bit of pillaging over here, just to get some food. But otherwise, we're just going to go to town on this Basilica boss, and we're going to end this. Look at that. With 200 troops to spare. Very nice. And there we go. That is the end of the run. So this was a narrated playthrough of the North faction played on hard difficulty. As you can see, it is a really interesting faction to play. If you've had an opportunity to watch some of my other narrated playthroughs for the other factions, I think you'll agree with me that, you know, the way that you play the North is just very, very different. For one, you do a lot more math. My goodness, with that technology card that we used to shoot. I already forgot the name for it, but that reduces the damage that you take your defense. You're constantly doing math to try to figure out what is the most number of enemy troops you can leave available without getting your defense completely wiped out. So maybe it's the best learning faction, hey, to play. But yeah, the North is really very exciting. You can tell, I think, throughout the playthrough that the plundering mechanic allows you to really ramp up your resources very quickly. Early on, I was really focused on building those large terrain networks, getting them connected to my depots, and then connecting those depots to my Hall of Heroes. Now, that didn't actually always work. It can be pretty hard to pull off, while also, you know, making sure enemy buildings don't minimize their recruitment and dealing with your own buildings. So you try your best, but early on, I think focusing on that strategy can definitely help you get a lot of resources early to get those cards upgraded to level 2 or maybe even 3, and just give you a huge power spike. And so with that, for me in this run, that power spike, of course, was the Thieves' Hideout. It's my favorite military building card in the game. And that at level 2, it was more than enough to help us get through the Act 1 boss, and then I was able to get it up to level 3 for the Act 2 boss. So that definitely, just the bump you get from resources collected can help you get those cards into better shape by the time you hit those boss fights. Now, of course, the real, I think, shining moment with the North is the Fury mechanic. I was really fortunate to get an Herborist before my first hostile round, so I had that available for me every single round to replenish my defense. And that is what you want to do, is to try to intentionally take damage to increase your Fury so that you can leverage those troops next round. And then during the round, use something like Herborist, or use something like the Fresh Troops technology card, which you saw came into play here, to replenish your defense so that you can be generating Fury every single round and getting those troops. And you can see that, you know, even though I was spending a lot of time in the end of round phase trying to do math, like, you can tell I had more than enough troops to spare. The North can really turn into a very overpowered faction. Maybe you don't generate quite as many troops as what you can in the end game for like the Republic or the Order, but I think, you know, as long as you get the right card early on, specifically like Herborist, then you're just winning rounds so much more comfortably. You know, these other factions are a little bit more vulnerable in the early rounds as you're trying to power up your main cards, like your Belfry, for example. But this one, if you just get this Herber's card early up and some kind of decent military building, doesn't even have to be the Thieves' Hideout, you're rolling. You're just, you know, you're able to just generate all this fury that you can then recover. Well, you lose all this defense that you can then recover with the Herber's and generate fury every round to get more than enough troops to carry you through to the end of the playthrough. And so with that in mind, of course, you do need, I think where this potentially becomes problematic are the boss fights, because the boss garrisons aren't subject to that technology card that reduces the damage you take to your defense. So let me see, do I have that on here? I'm sorry, I'm just it's just not showing up, sorry. But anyway, so they're not the boss garrisons are not subject to that debuff, so you do want to make sure that you have military buildings that can generate a decent amount of troops, because you'll need it to fight off those bosses and whatever else comes your way. And so with that, I was able to showcase two really good strategies in this playthrough. The Thieves' Hideout, I think, by far is the more reliable one. If you get this early on like I did, you just need to play smartly on getting some buildings next to it. By the time I was hitting level 2, I was comfortably getting close to 100 troops. By level 3, that can go even higher. You can tell I wasn't even going too crazy here with this. I think I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 troops near 6 buildings nearby. You can do even more because you can squeeze these depots, like this depot here. I could have tried to squeeze it close by. So Thieves' Hideout by far is the easiest route to go. Equally potent, though, I think, is the Fluvial Guard. It's going to take more work, but you can definitely recruit a lot of troops with the Fluvial Guard, and choosing maps that have a decent amount of river, because then you can also parlay that into your resource generation strategy by also getting some production buildings like the bridge, sawmill, watermill, and those buildings will also gain troops from the Fluvial Guard. Your depots could gain troops from the Fluvial Guard, and that will also generate a lot of troops that you can then use to kill off enough of the enemy garrisons to survive the round. And in fact, in some sense, it is a little bit more flexible because those troops are spread out. You can actually assign them to different targets, whereas the Thieves' Hideout, you really can only assign it to one target. And but yeah, that is basically how gameplay looks like for the North. I really hope that you enjoyed this narrated playthrough. If you're excited by how this faction plays out, you want to see how the other factions play out, I have other videos for all the other 4 factions currently available in the 1.2.19 patch. Definitely encourage you to check out our playlist on Drop Duchy, where you'll find those playthroughs. I also have runs that I've narrated with more unique showcases. So there's one, for example, that is played as the Duchy but utilizes Faith, and even a second one that also plays the Duchy but utilizes Noble Buildings. So there are, I would say, very set recommended ways for playing the 5 factions. There are also some unique, I think, strategies you can apply using some of the other less commonly played cards that show up in the progress tree. Anyhow, my name is Marvin. My family and I, we run Buddy Up Gaming, where we put out videos encouraging families to game together. Video games are a really important pastime for our family, and it's one that I think everyone can really enjoy together. And what I really love about Drop Duchy is that it showcases that even single-player games are ones that you can enjoy together as a family. My son really loves this game. He's always asking me questions about the strategies that I'm using and what the various different cards do. And he's, as someone who has played Tetris and understands some of the basics now of Drop Duchy, he is more than happy to critique my moves when he feels like I'm not playing optimally. And you know what? Sometimes he's right. So it's a game I really enjoy playing with him and seeing how he does his runs. And it's something that I think you can enjoy a lot as well. And Drop Duchy is one that I would really highly recommend because you can pick it up at a really cheap price. You don't even have to wait for it to go on sale to get. So definitely, if you have some free time on your hands, go check this game out. But otherwise, if you did enjoy this video, please do leave a like. It really helps this channel so much. And of course, subscribe for more family-friendly gaming guides, reviews, and other content. Thanks again so much for watching, and hope you have a good one out there. Boom. Victory. Good stuff.